Want to learn and know the fastest way to stop stressing is to give up. I don't mean just quit, give up, and stop doing whatever it is you're doing. But maybe there's a time you have to reflect and think, stop, give up, stop doing what I'm doing because it's not working might actually be the thing you need to do. Because you're burnt out, you're stressed, because you keep hammering your own way and method, pounding away. You're grinding, you're hustling, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, but you're not getting a new result. I'm not going to go back to the insanity quote that everyone uses, because sometimes you do need to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Because if you take a hammer and you keep hammering into something, you're doing the same thing over and over again. And slowly but surely, eventually something will break. Now, at a certain point, are you spending all of this time, energy, and effort on this one action? You keep doing it, but it's not showing you any results. And this is where you need to give up. You need to give up your expectation that something will change. You need to give up the expectation on the result. You need to focus on the work. And I know that's not something that everyone else has talked about, and that's sarcasm. But at the end of the day, when you look at the work you are doing right now, does it build up to something in the future? The reason you're burnt out, the reason you're stressed, the reason you have so much anxiety is because you keep doing all these things. Like for us, building a business is not fun. It's not great. Like it's fun when you receive the money, you receive the referrals, you receive the, testimonials that say, this is how you help me. This is how you serve me. My life is better because of this training, of this coaching, because of XYZ. But the actual business itself isn't fun. Like today, I didn't feel like doing this. I didn't feel like coming on to this message. Not because I don't love y'all and want something better for you, but because I don't feel like it. I gotta get dressed, I gotta look clean, I gotta record, I gotta upload, I gotta film, I gotta write a description, I gotta do all these things. That sucks. No one enjoys doing that. No one on the start of the journey enjoys that work. No matter what you're doing, like when you start school, you don't enjoy studying. But when you're in the field that you want to be in, hopefully you're in a field you want to be in, then it gets a little better because then you see the payoff. But you don't see that payoff until after you've put in the work. And you're so focused on that end goal that you forget about what it is right now. You hate what you're doing right now. You don't like what you're doing right now. You're struggling to figure out, why am I even doing this? There are days I come on these messages and I'm like, why am I even doing this? There are days you're watching this. I don't know what kind of day you're having where you're like, what am I watching this for? What am I watching this for? What am I doing here? Because you expect a result, you're so set on this one result, this one effort, this one attention, this one thing, you've missed all the other opportunities along the way because you're not focusing on the work. Today, what I want to go over is Job chapter 12, verse 10 in the NASB. I use the NASB. I think it's the best way to read it. And it is Job 12, verse 10. In whose hand is the life of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind. You need to give up. You need to let go. You need to release outcomes. And I get it. There are times you're like I'm joking, like at the gym, this doesn't come out of nowhere. This didn't come from nowhere. This didn't come from nowhere. The state of Texas didn't come from nowhere. When you work out, you bench, you squat, you snatch, you clean and jerk, you do all these things, you don't see a result immediately. In fact, you actually backtrack. You get weaker because as you lift, you're hurting the muscle. You're hurting. You shouldn't be hurting, but you're breaking down the muscle. So in that day, in that moment, you don't get a result. You might feel better literally from endorphins and knowing that you did the work, but you don't see the result. Like this is 10 years. Like I haven't really worked. I've been very bad about my workouts recently. It's been something I'm struggling with because I feel like, okay, put more time in the business, put more time in your relationship, put more time in all these things. And I've taken that away from my training. I'm starting to feel the effects of it now. But when you look at working out, this is why I focus so much on training and mindset work, business, reading your Bible, because you don't see any results immediately. If you take words from the Bible and you implement it into your life, you don't see the immediate effects. Like saying that you must run your race or to take care of your body, right? When you take care of your body, you don't see anything immediately. You have to wait a month, a week, a year. Then you look back and you're like, oh man, I made all kinds of progress. But day to day, you don't see that. So if you get caught and focused on, I want a six-pack, but you don't do the work to get to the six-pack, you focus on six-pack. I don't have that. So right now in this day, you do everything like you try and make it happen tomorrow. I'm like you. This current culture right now is always about hustle more, do more, grind more, make more, do more, have more, just keep doing more and more and more and more. But maybe you're burnt out because you fall into this trap of more. And you're stressing yourself out because you want more. But at the end of the day, when you look at life and you're like, what do I need a bigger house for? What do I really need more money for? What do I need to read the Bible for more? What do I need to train more for? Life is a lot easier and a lot less stressful when you focus on what's the most effective thing I can do right now? What is the one thing I do in my business to make the most amount of money comparatively? I may not make more as if I had double, triple, quadrupled it, but at a certain point, it kind of caps off, right? Like you can fill your car up a certain amount of gas, but at a certain point, you can't keep filling it up. There's a certain level that you drive at where if you go faster, you actually lose. If you go too slow, you lose efficiency. You go too fast, you lose efficiency. There's a certain level when you go to a restaurant, you eat a certain amount of food, you're like, I'm happy. There's a little bit where you're like, I'm kind of hungry still. I'm not satisfied. This wasn't as great. You eat too much and you're like, okay, I'm full, I'm stuffed, I feel terrible. Take whatever it is and put it in there. There's a certain level where you get the most out of it. And I want you to think about, what do you need to give up? In this verse in Job, in whose hand is the life of every living thing, and the breath of all mankind? If you think about everything you're worried about, money, finances, relationships, whatever, you are not creating anything. You're literally not doing anything. Right now, you're thinking about your breath. Now you are. You don't breathe. On a day-to-day basis, you don't have to think about breathing. You just do it. Your body just does it. It has the system to do it. You don't have to think about your heart pushing blood. It just does it. You don't have to you need to work on your relationship, but at a certain point you have built a system where you work together and you understand what needs to change. You don't think about the end goal of like you see most people nowadays, like, I want a girlfriend, I want a boyfriend. So you get the boyfriend, you get the girlfriend, and then you're like, I don't know what to do next. That relationship falls apart because you haven't focused on the day-to-day pieces of, how do I learn and grow with this person? How do I date for a purpose of marriage? Because that's what dating is. And if you just keep dating for laughs and giggles, for poops and laughs, there's no purpose in that. What is the point of that? What is the point in like nailing down and creating a foundation, but you never build the house? What is the point in reading your Bible daily, but you never put any of these words into work? What is the point in watching these messages? What is the point of me posting these messages if I don't actually push it towards something else? What is the point of you watching it if you don't actually put any of this into action in your life? You're just watching and mentally like masturbating in your head to make you feel like you're doing something in your day. And that's the purpose of this. What I learned, the way it works best for me, is take words, lessons, whatever it may be, words, gain wisdom from it, extract the words into your life. When I read my Bible, I think about, what can I add into my life from this? How can I reduce stress in my life from this? I take words and I gain wisdom. From that wisdom, I put it into works. There is no purpose in studying your ass off in college and never going to work in that field. There's no point in learning all these things, to learn marketing, to learn techniques, to learn copy structure, to read the Bible, if you don't put into works. So read the words, gain wisdom, take the wisdom and create works with it. Once you start working, you can then build wealth. No one pays you to just sit there. You get paid because you did something where you put words onto paper, you put words and thoughts into something that created an object, did something, you provided value. From that word that became your wisdom, you provided value through your work, and then you got paid in the wealth. The reason you're stressed right now is because you're so focused on the wealth without the works, without the wisdom from the words. You think that just thinking and sit and grow rich will turn you rich. You think reading your Bible more will make you a better husband. You think going on dates will make you a better husband. They can help, but you have to put in the work. You put in the work once you have wisdom to understand how the work affects your wealth. That's your Monday mindset message. Every week, I'm going to go deeper into the book of Job for the month of December. And I'm putting it in a coaching program. Now, this isn't like a typical coaching program where it's like you pay $200 a month and you never show up to a live call. You maybe say like, okay, I'll watch it later online. I've been there. I put in money. I haven't joined things. I do the same thing. And I say I'm going to watch the replay. I'm going to listen to it later. And the reality is you don't. But what if I gave you a system that actually worked this way to make it better for you, where you would be able to have it, and you don't have to remember another login, you don't have to remember all these things. You just get a coach in a box, your little iPhone box. It's coaching messages delivered through your podcast app, so you have it directly. You have your coach right there in front of you. No, it's not one-on-one. I can't coach you immediately. I say that for people who are actually paying me more money. I don't make any money on YouTube. I don't make money on these coaching programs. I make money on the one-to-one. But that's not the purpose. The purpose of what I'm doing this for is that I was saved. My life was saved by podcasts and YouTube videos, learning and education, words turned into wisdom, turned into work, turned into wealth. And if I can give that to someone, it might be you right now, that makes my life a lot better. That shows me the reason why I'm doing this. And I hope you get something out of this message. I hope this pushes you to stop just reading words, to actually gain wisdom from the words you're reading, to put that into works and build wealth. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to pay bills. The house I have, the phone you watch this on, the internet you watch it through, all costs money. And you can be someone who's like, oh, money is evil. But the reality is, you're gonna have to find a way to provide value, to receive value, to get value. Plain as that. You can't tell from my other messages, this got me fired up. Because I feel like I needed this. And if I needed this, I'm sure someone out there needed it. You're not burnt out. You're not broken. Nothing needs to be fixed. You just need to change what you're doing because it's not serving you anymore. As you were a child, you thought like a child. Now as a man, now as an adult, you think like a man and an adult. It's time to step up. So when you're ready for me to coach you, you'll have all the links in the description. You have it all there. Otherwise, just watch these Monday Mindset messages. Get something out of it. If these suck and don't do anything for you, let me know. Tell me what I need to do better. Tell me how I can serve you and help you. That's all I care about. That's all I want from this. So on that note, in peace, love, and light, wherever you're listening and watching this from, good morning, good afternoon, good night. This is Lawrence with Candle, signing off.